Okay, there's a microphone down there for you. Okay, good stuff. Welcome to the UK, Ronnie.
I'm glad to be back again.
Okay, hold that a little bit closer up to your mouth. I don't people hear you there, Ronnie. Okay.
Glad to be back again.
Okay, good stuff. You had a good day with us yesterday. A quiet night in the hotel. Everything sorted.
Everything's going good for me. Can't complain about a thing.
Wait. Oh, look, they're all waving away at that. The thing, you're popular and you haven't even said anything yet.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. So, I think we're going to have some fun with this session, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, now, what we're going to do is we've got a couple of sort of roaming microphones. The staff, there's Gareth there, and probably Gareth there, and Gareth there. Just Gareth. Okay, you're going to be he's going to be like the road runner, okay? Okay, in a minute, Gareth. So what we'll do is, what you need to do is get your hand, go on in there. There's two, there's always two. Put your hand up in the air if you want to ask Ronnie a question. You've got to remember that he's very rarely in the UK. This is an unbelievable opportunity to ask him some up-close and personal questions, and he's still smiling, so that's all right. So if you've got a question, want to kick it off, right in the corner. Thank you, Gareth.
Ronnie, welcome to the UK.
Thank you.
You've been on record, obviously, saying Victor Martinez was going to be the next big thing. Who do you reckon currently? Who do you think, other than Jay, maybe Phil's looking good? Anyone coming up that's looking good? Maybe any breaks?
Any, like, shows or anything?
Yeah, no, he's singing.
Bodybuilders.
Up-and-coming bodybuilders. Is there any that's on your radar right now?
Well, I see quite a few guys coming up right now. Phil Heath, Kai Green. I think once Victor overcomes his injury, knee injury, I think he's going to be up and coming also, you know, because he played second a couple years back. So, and then you got a couple more guys after that that are still doing pretty good, that I think are going to be also up and coming. So, as far as I can see, it looks pretty good for the next these 4 or 5 years. That got different guys coming up.
Okay, another question? He's got a duff microphone over there. What's going on? Is it dead?
Okay. What about British-wise? Any Brits you think can maybe challenge in the next few years?
Well, you know, of course, yeah, Dorian, it's kind of hard for me to keep up with a whole bunch of guys, so I don't know too many. Well, actually, to be honest with you, I haven't watched Mr. Olympia since I last competed, and I don't get a chance to watch any of the professional shows because I do so much traveling, so it's kind of hard for me to say who is Brits coming up. I really don't know.
Okay, so there we go. He's putting his thumbs up. Okay, more questions. Okay, let's keep time in front of you guys. There's a gentleman in a bright blue top, matey. Why don't we stand up so we can have the pictures at you as well? There we are.
How you doing, Ronnie?
I'm good.
What's the funniest story you've had as being a police officer and obviously being yourself, Ronnie Coleman, when you're coming into people's houses busting them?
That's a good one.
Well, I get a lot of strange looks and a lot of weird comments, but you know, some of the stories that I have, the funny ones, a lot of people wouldn't think they were funny because, you know, a lot of police officers got very strange senses of humor, and they make some of the weirdest comments you ever heard, you know, about death. We see a lot of people die all the time, a lot of people commit suicide, and it's just all kinds of things. I don't want to say all that stuff here because you may not think it's funny because these guys are something seriously wrong with a lot of them. So I'll just keep that between us right now.
But
I think that's the best thing to do.
It must be quite a shock if somebody, you know, reports a crime. I think this is what you're on about. They report a crime, right? And they phone it in and say like a 911. Yeah, 911. We have that's our 999, 911. And he turns up at the front door. I mean, you've got to be properly shitting yourself, haven't you, if he turns up?
Yeah, I get some strange comments.
Good stuff. Okay, let's have a question, okay? The guy in the middle there. Stand up, sir, please. Black top. Thank you.
Those kids, when they grow up, like, aspire to be astronauts and yourself, when did you realise you had the potential to be like Mr. Olympia? 8 times, obviously.
To be honest with you, when I realized that I had the potential to be a Mr. Olympia, is when I won my first Mr. Olympia in 1998. Anything outside of that, I'm just having fun. I'm just around for the free workout at the gym, basically.
Okay, let's have some more questions. Go on. There's one golden opportunity down here. This guy's still running from yesterday. Ronnie, he's running all day. There we go. White stuff. Stand up, sir, so we can see you, please. There we go. Thank you.
Hi, Ronnie. Why don't you rank up for number 9?
I went for number 9 twice already, and for me to try it again, I'd be striking out. So I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
Could have been the first ever, number 9.
Could be. We'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, any questions up the back? Okay, right behind you there. Stand up, clear, that's it, sir. Thank you, the black top. Wonderful.
Hey, what's your favourite exercise?
I think I had that same question yesterday. One of my favorite exercises is probably squats and then deadlifts. I also like doing bench press, like preacher curls.
Any you don't like? Is there any you don't like?
I don't like the treadmill. Stairmaster. Elliptical.
I knew this was going to be a fun session. Okay, who else up the back? Okay, but right behind you, Gareth, the guy on the stripy top. Okay, thank you.
Hi, I was wondering whether you thought about going into any Ramble territory in terms of training some champs yourself.
Okay, he doesn't want to get into the honey ramble territory about training, but you say
Yeah,
that,
so yeah, he thought about some...
Would you consider training? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
okay.
being a trainer.
So he wants to know, would you consider training other people now?
No.
Ronnie, if there's nothing, he's straight to the point. Why not?
I don't like training other people unless they're gonna be, lifting like 800 pounds, doing like 800 pound deadlifts, 800 pound squats, 600 pound bench presses, and maybe we can hang out a little bit.
Okay, got another one here.
300 pound leg press.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, there's a little boy. How old is he? You're asking the question, or is it for your mum? Is that your mum? Are you going to ask the question? How old are you? 4. And you're not married yet? No, you stay single. Good stuff. Okay, what's your question for Ronnie?
All right, buddy.
See, what did he say? Hi, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Not so much of a question, more of a statement. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, there's one there. Right down here, Gareth, sorry. You stand up as well, please, sir, so we can have a good look at your torso. There you go.
When you're doing a big lift, what's going on in your head? Like the 800 pound deadlift, you've got to be seriously psyching yourself up. I mean, what goes through your mind?
Well, I guess the first thing that's going through my mind is, Mike, wait! And the second thing is, ain't nothing but a peanut.
Okay, any more questions up in that corner? And we'll come to you next up down in front, okay?
Big Ron, how you doing, mate? I was wondering if you've ever been offered any film roles or ever thought about doing that. I think a lot of people would like to see you on the big screen.
Nothing. Yeah, I've been offered a couple of roles. I've been doing a movie coming up here, last month, but it never happened. But they say it's still on, so we just have to wait to see what happens. But I'm open to do some film roles.
Okay, good stuff. Gareth, you have a bit of a trot now, I'm afraid, old son, right down to the front, because I promised this gentleman right down here. I'd just like to see him run, Ronnie, it's great. It does him good. Look. There we are, sir. You may as well stand up, so everybody else has had to stand up. You may as well.
Hey, Ronnie, just wanted to ask you, still trained down there in Metroflex?
Yeah, still training Metroflex.
And another question, will you be competing in the game this year or next year?
Well, I don't know about this year. I don't know about next year. Maybe the year after that, though. We'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, he's keeping quiet about that one. Okay, well, may as well do you right there, sir. Okay.
Ron, I'm a big fan of you, and I just want to ask, is there any opportunity you can hook up? Because I can just 800 pound deadlifts as well.
if you think you can hang, oh yeah, we do something.
How do you go about that, Big Ronnie?
I'm at the Metroplex Gym in Arlington, 2921 South Cooper. You can come to the workout weekend. Every year we have, it's March 10th this year. So it'll probably be around the same time next year.
Maybe I will have to defend.
Move down.
Only got a year to wait. Okay, another question? Okay, there's a lady. Excellent, Gareth. A lady right in the back. Not right in the back, in the first row of the back seats. Stand up, madam, please. Hey, here we go.
So you're a police officer and a bodybuilder. I can see you've got a mental strength. I was wondering where that came from when you headed to build that.
Strength part?
The mental strength.
Mental? To be honest with you, I think that's something that I was born with. And also, I'm doing two things that I really and truly enjoy. I've always took pride in my job as a police officer, and I've always had a lot of fun in it. And of course, working out has been a hobby since I was 12 years old. That's something I've been doing pretty much all my life. So I take pride, and I found I get a lot of motivation to do those two things because I really and truly love doing them.
Passion. Okay, down here, the red cap. Red baseball cap. Do you mind standing up as well, sir? So we can have a see who you are? Wonderful.
What were your main influences when you first started training, like what you became a bodybuilder?
Okay. I'm gonna tell a little story, and it goes a little something like this. When I was about 12 years old, people used to always ask me if I worked out. And I guess they were asking me because I was a little muscular even at that age, because I was like one of the rare kids in my neighborhood as far as I could see. And I always told them no. And I got to thinking, all these people asking me if I work out, what would I actually look like if I did? So I just went in the gym and started training one day. Okay, and from there, of course, I joined the high school powerlifting team. Played football in high school, went on to college, played football there, and ran track and stuff. Go on to college graduation. I go out to Texas. I followed a friend out there because he had a job there, and I didn't have one when I was graduating college. Hired on with the police department in March of 1989. December of 1989, I finally got cut loose on my own as a police officer. And I was just working the call one day, and one of the guys showed up and said, "Man, where you work out at? You're kind of big." I told him, "Well, I work out at the station." And he said, "Man, ain't no way." He said, "You ought to come to this gym I work out." First day I go in there, a guy named Brian Dobson said, "You compete?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Man, you should compete. You could be world champion one day." And I'm like, "No, it's okay. I got a job at the police department, and I don't want to diet, and definitely want to take those steroids, because I work for the police department and everything." He said, "I can't do all that." I'm like, "No, that's okay." 2 or 3 days this happened. 4th day he says, "Give you free membership to the gym if you compete." At the time I was real poor. I just worked with Domino, pizza, wasn't making no money. And anything for free, I was gonna jump on, especially for working out because it was a hobby of mine. So I said, yeah. And about 3-4 months later, I won my very first show, 1990, Mr. Texas, and I've been hooked on bodybuilding and training ever since.
So done, okay.
The short version of it.
Okay, another question. We've got time for another 4 or 5. Okay, down in that corner, thank you. Just stand up, sir, that's it, thank you.
Hi, Ronnie. I just have a question. As a police officer, you have to go to the test, exercises and running. Do you catch people, running down the streets, or you just shoot them?
Yeah. I don't have to catch them, but I'm in a patrol car. Kind of hard I run one of those.
Yeah, it's all done by VA engines. Yeah, sure. Okay, another question. Okay, down here, sir, again. Okay, we'll grab you at the front. Good.
Ronnie, would you say your meeting with Chad Nichols was a big changing point in your bodybuilding career?
Yeah. I always tell people that they always ask, how did you go from 9th in the Miss Olympia in 1997 to first in 1998? I just tell them, I hooked up with Chad Nichols, and he pretty much showed me how to dive and how to work out the proper way, and that was all the difference it was.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, another few questions. Go on, because they've got. Okay, here we are, the black top fixer. Let's have a look at you. Come on, stand up. Thank you.
Sorry. Do you think to be like world class, in the beginning you got to have like good symmetry, muscle bellies, good tie-ins, be genetically gifted? You're an average Joe in this crowd, just like train, eat, sleep, be Mr. Olympia. That's honestly like.
Of course, if you don't have genetics for it, you're definitely not going to be it. So I think it goes along with just about anything in this world today. If you're not genetically gifted to do it and to be it, it's not going to happen. And I just happen to be extremely genetically gifted, and of course I worked hard, and sacrificed a lot, and dedicated myself, and I was determined. So you pretty much have not the way that I wanted as far as I'm concerned, because I never ever wanted to be a bodybuilder. It's something that just kind of like fell into my hand. It's kind of like my destiny for the most part. It's something that path that God put me on. And like I tell people, everybody is given a gift. It's up to you to just go on and develop it and change your life with it.
Life-changing stuff, yeah, life-changing stuff. Okay, another question? Okay, there's sir, thank you. Let's have a pictures at you as well. Stand up, please, thank you.
Hi, Ronnie. What's your favourite food to eat?
Well, my favorite food nowadays is probably filet mignon. Absolute favorite food is filet mignon.
Filet mignon, eh? For those of the uninitiated, that's posh steak. That's a lot of beef. Okay, that's a very posh bit of meat. Okay, anybody else? Okay, there's sir in the white, thank you. If you wouldn't mind standing up as well, sir, so we can have a look who's who. Thank you.
Hi, Ron. I was wondering, what sort of training are you doing now? Is it similar to what you did before you stopped competing?
Well, of course I don't train as hard as I did back then, but right now I'm on the road a lot, just about every weekend. Sometimes we're gone for weeks at a time, but for the most part I try to train at least 4, maybe sometimes five times a week, but I just do it as much as I possibly can, but nothing as near as close as I used to do when I was, Mr. Olympia 8 consecutive years in a row.
That's a point, actually. It's a good question, because, how much international traveling are you doing at the moment?
I just got back from Germany, Turkey, and Cyprus. I was there for about 3 weeks. And before that, I was in Australia for about 2.5 weeks. And in between that, I'm doing appearances also in the United States every other weekend, too.
And what about when you're traveling? Because I think that's probably part of your question as well. Diet when you're traveling, problem?
Normally, every time I go somewhere, I just, I have a contract and I just put in there exactly what I want to eat, like grilled chicken, grilled steak, rice and baked potatoes. That's normally what I eat.
And filet mignon when you can get your hands on it.
Yeah, filet mignon when I get my hands on it.
Okay, another question? Anybody come on? He's only here for just a little limited time. Anybody come on? One down the front of this corner. Oh, in the corner, another lady. Good stuff. Ladies first, Gareth. You'll have to stand up, madam. Everybody else did. And no bull whistling.
When you were at work at the police force,
Hold the microphone up so we can hear you.
when you're at work, like it's a normal job, what is it like with you when you're going on all your shows?
Okay,
Like getting time off?
Okay,
So-
when you were, is this when he was a police officer? When he was a police officer?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you were serving with the county sheriff's office or whatever it was, would they give you time off to prepare for competitions?
Not really. For the most part, we get about 5 weeks of vacation a year. So most of the time, I just took my 5 weeks to get ready for shows and go and do shows and stuff like that.
Okay, what's your question? Okay, down in that corner as well, sir. Let's have a stand up as well, sir. Everybody else has to.
Hey, Ronnie, just wanted to ask you, when you're dieting for your shows, did you ever weigh your food out, or was it just when I thought how hungry you was?
I weigh and measure everything that I eat when I get ready for a show. Every single thing.
Very precise science in a sense, isn't it? Has to be. Okay. Gareth, you were up here. Was there somebody around you? What was the question? And we sort of bypassed them to the girl. Who was it? Okay. Yes, please, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Ronnie. I just want to know what kind of relationship there is between you and the other kind of bodybuilding competitors, if there is quite a competitive edge you've been on.
Well, for the most part, everybody gets along pretty good. I'm quite sure everybody here knows that bodybuilding is a subjective sport, and of course we ain't doing no judging, so we don't really hold grudges against none of us, because like I said, we're not doing the judges, we're just presenting. We should be mad at anybody as ourselves, but then we don't live up to what we're supposed to live up to.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, any more questions? Down in here, Gareth, please. Gentleman in the blue shirt or t-shirt. Yeah, there he is. And he knows he's going to have to stand up, Ronnie. He knows that.
Who's your favourite bodybuilder of all time, apart from yourself?
I would say it's a tie between Lee Haney and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Those two guys.
Good ambassador for the sport as well, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Okay, down at the front. Gentleman in the white.
Hey, Ron. On the Facebook page the other day, you said that you might be doing your own supplement company.
Yeah, right now we're in developmental stages right now, doing a lot of testing. Once all that testing is over with, hopefully either by the end of next month or sometime in July, we'll be distributing products throughout Europe. And we're going to do a European market first, USA market.
You're going to do the whole range, like?
Well, we're going to start, kind of small, because kind of small company right now, and we're going to hopefully build on to it in the years to come.
You're not going to sell your Bentley for it?
Oh yeah, it's called sacrifice. Sometimes you have to sacrifice the things you work real hard to get more things.
Okay, any more? Okay, I'm afraid you're going to have to be trotting again, Gareth. The gentleman there, the black top, first row of the back bunch of seats. I'm picking them so far away. I'll tell you what, if I could pick them in the next Hollywood just to get them running more. Right, thank you, sir.
Hi, Ronnie. When you're coming up to a show, how would you change your diet and work cardio into your workout regime?
Well, actually, I don't really change diet at all when I'm working my way up to the show. I eat pretty much the same thing that I eat getting ready for a show that I eat leading up to the show. The reason why, because I don't really want to put anything different in my body to shock it and make me sometimes get kind of sick when you do those kind of things. You have to be real careful. So whatever I've been eating, I just keep it the same.
Okay. Stuff. Up right, I'm afraid it's another lady, and it's right up in the middle of that. There she is. If you wouldn't mind standing up as well, madam. There we go. There she is.
I know that we're talking about you traveling a lot, and I heard about when you were with Kevin LeBron and the whole vodka and coffee shot. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, what happened was, this was in 1997, and it was a long year. Of course, I got ninth in the Olympic, but right after the Olympia, they had about 7 shows on the European tour. And bodybuilding is a difficult enough sport in itself, but to have to stay in shape to do 7 shows in 11 days is the hardest thing I ever did in my whole entire life. And for the life of me, I still don't know how we did that. But what happened was we had got to the point where our body just stopped pretty much kind of like performing. So this goes back to the question the guy asked me a minute ago about, putting different things in. So, on this tour, I was getting 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and it really wasn't working for me. And Kevin LeBron came to me and said, Kevin had won every show, and it was show number 7. He had won 6 in a row. He was coming on show number 7. So I pulled one of my college numbers. When I was in college, I always wanted to be the best at whatever it was that I was doing. In college, I was in accounting, and at one point I wasn't too good, so I went to the guys that were good, and I studied with them, and I became great. So I did the same thing with Kevin. I'm like, Kevin, what are you doing to stay in, such good condition? It's like, come in my room tonight around about a certain time, whatever. I'm like, okay. So I go in Kevin's room, and he's like, this is what I'm doing. He gave me a cup of coffee. I'm like, coffee? That's it? They said, no, that's not it. Then he went in the refrigerator. He pulled out bottles of vodka, and he poured it in the coffee. I'm like, I'm supposed to drink this? I better like coffee. Like, yeah, you drink that. So I like, okay. So I drank the vodka and coffee, and the next day at the show, I beat him. That goes with different things in your body and beating your buddy and giving you some great advice. Watch out.
Well, yeah, watch out. Watch your back. Okay. Any more questions? We've got probably time for another 2, and then we're going to have to wrap up in the next show. Come on, somebody must have a question. There we go. Down here, sir. Sorry. He loves it. Look, these little old legs. Look, there we go. Put your hands up against us so we can see it. If you wouldn't mind standing up as well. Thanks.
Ronnie, we've all seen the video of you doing the lunges in the car park. Unfortunately, we can't do that in the UK because the weather's not that great.
Yeah.
But lunges are one of the best exercises, you know, for tiredness, glutes, hamstrings.
Oh yeah, sure.
What's the second best exercise other than squats?
That's a hard one because I've always been able to do that. And you know, in my gym, it's a real hardcore facility. We just don't have, you know, a whole lot of means of you know, what we can do. So I kind of like just came up with that, you know. But another thing that we did before that, believe it or not, pushing the truck. And it was just a basic standard 4x4 large pickup truck. We pushed it up and down that same parkway that I was doing the lunges. So I don't know if y'all can do that over here either, but
need to get yourself a truck.
I got some different methods of doing things.
A truck, okay. Time for one more just here in the middle. In the grey top. Thanks, sir. If you wouldn't mind just standing up as well. Last question for today. Thank you.
Obviously you train like 4 or 5 times a week still, and you're always on the go. Do you ever look back and wish you did nothing else in your life?
Look back and do it?
Well, would you, if you had to look back now at your career, and you hadn't got where you had with been all the championships and training and everything else, as a chosen career, would you have done something else?
No. I'm going to tell you the reason why. I was just trying to touch on it a minute earlier. It's really not up to you what you want to be in life. It's up to God and what He wants you to be, and everybody has a destiny. And it was like this when I was in college. You know, I had no idea I was going to college. First of all, the only reason why I went because all my high school buddies were going. I'm like, well, I'm not staying here in this small town with nothing to do. I'm going to college too. And so when I got there, like now, what do I do? Because the only reason why I came is because my friends came. So I just started asking everybody that was there, like, what are y'all doing here? What are y'all majoring in? And most of the time, the statement that I got is everybody was majoring in management. So I like, okay, I'm gonna major in management too. About my 3rd year, I had an instructor come to me and say, man, you need to change your major to accounting. You're pretty good at it. And and I'm like, you think so? He's like, yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm changing my major to accounting. About my 4th year in college, I thought I made the biggest mistake in my life because I took this accounting course, and it was the hardest class in the whole wide world. But I got through that, and the whole time I'm in college, I'm playing football, and I always wanted to be a professional football player, and that's why I went to college, and I played 4 years there, and so that's what I thought I was going to do after college. That didn't happen. I did get drafted, so I was like, okay, there went one dream out the window. So my next thing was, I got a 4-year degree. I graduated with honors. I had all A's and B's all throughout college. So now I say I can become an accountant. Well, that didn't happen either. I applied at all these jobs when I first went to Dallas. Nobody hired me. Only person that hired me was Domino's Pizza. And here I am with a 4-year degree, thinking I'm going to be making all this money, and I'm delivering pizzas for a living. So I'm like, what the hell wrong with what's going on with this? You know, I spent all that time in college studying each and every single night, because I studied each and every single night with a degree in accounting. You have to. So I like, why ain't nobody hired me for an accountant? What's going on? So this goes on for 2 years. Because every single weekend I'll put in an application, because I got the newspaper, to be an accountant for an accounting job. I got a lot of interviews because I had such a high GPA, grade point at it, but nobody would hire me. I'm like, what the hell? Why ain't nobody hiring me? So I like, okay, 2 years of, you know, Domino pizza, I couldn't survive. I ended up getting another job throwing newspapers. Here I am, you know, a grown man throwing newspapers and delivering pizzas with a college degree. So I'm thinking, where did I go wrong? And a friend of mine came to me one day and said, "Won't you work for the police department?" Like, oh hell no, I'd never do that job. Yeah, that's what I thought at the time I said that. So one day a thought came to my head like, why don't I work for the police department? So I applied for the police department. About 3 months later, I was hired. And this was after I said that you know, I'd never work for the police department. So you never, the point I'm trying to make is you never know what it is that you're going to do in life. You never know what your destiny is until you kind of like stumble upon it. Like some people already know what they want to do all their lives. Some people like me, unfortunately, stumble on it in that kind of way. I worked, my first year on the police force, a guy came to me, and I was telling the story earlier about where I work out at, and he said, come to the gym. If I never, you know, got with the police department, I never went to that gym, and I've been Mr. Olympia for 8 years in a row. So life has a way of dealing its own lessons to you, and it's really not up to you, it's up to the man upstairs, basically.
And the rest, of course, as they say, is history. They're quite quiet, this lot, because we British are a bit more reserved than you Americans, you know, we're a bit quieter. But I guess if they made a load of noise, Ronnie, would you be tempted to give them a little pose? What? A little pose? Would you be tempted to give them a pose if they made a lot of noise? Yeah, I think he's going to do that. I think you probably have to keep that going a little bit. We're trying to hear you. He's going to make his way down to the stand, so if you want to meet him out in the hall and have some photographs or some autographs, I guess he's going to be up for that. But ladies and gentlemen, before you go, let's hear it for the legend. There is Ronnie Coleman!